down this. Okay. I'm going to check the attendance, then we shall start our lecture. Farzona, Nozima, Karimjon here, Bunyon here, Davlatjon, absent. Sevinch, Orazgul, Zarina, Aziza Bono, Rayhona, Gulbahar, Chekrangiz, Zilola, and Bibi Mariam. Так, Хонзудахон здесь. Так, все здесь, 29, да? И 28, yeah? 27, yeah? I shall check group numbers 27. Malika, Sabuhat, Shahrizoda, absent. Gulnur, absent. Rukshona, Daniurbek, Mohina, Farzona, Malika, Shirin, Jankurbek, Rushana, Sabina, Amirjon, Marjona, and Aziza Bono. Okay. Now let's start. Today we are going to talk about customs and traditions of the UK.
Before to start this lecture, I'm very interested. I'm going to ask you some questions. What do you know about customs and traditions of the UK? What kind of customs and traditions of the UK do you know we just celebrate in the UK? Пожалуйста, what kind? Yeah. Halloween, yes. What else? Easter.
The Edinburgh Night.
Burns Night.
The Edinburgh International Festival.
Okay, great. What about you girls? Group number 2. Aziza, have you ever heard about Christmas?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
What about you? Group number 27. What kind of holidays or maybe festivals or customs and traditions of the UK do you know? Okay. Now, today, our topic is about customs and traditions of the UK, and the first question which will be discussed is understanding British culture, British customs facts, cultural life, and holidays. And people who live in the UK, we call them the British one, yes? And people who live on this territory, all of them are British. People who live in England, they are English, who in Scotland, Scots, in Welsh people, in Wales, we can call them Welsh, and Ireland, the Irish, but overall, they are British. And British culture is unique and interesting, with a long history and the right background. What does it mean with a long history? You know that British Isles were conquered several times by, who was the first invader who became to conquer the British Isles? Came to this territory, the Romans invasion, Anglo-Saxon conquer, yes, the Norman, Danish raids on England, and all these people brought their own customs and traditions on the territory of the British Isles, and the cultural traditions which were brought by the territory in Britain have adopted through the history and often seen as a centering to the rest of the world. Now, next one is today, the first question, we are going to talk about key values and social norms of British people. As you know, that British people, they are usually politeness and etiquette. It means that the British are usually known such words as their politeness, frequently using, like please, thank you, sorry, and every time when you meet with the British people, they use these words, thank you, sorry, or you are welcome. And even in a minor essential situation, holding doors open for others and avoiding swearing in public are common counters. It means that first one, British people are very politeness people and they have good things of etiquette. The next one is that it means it's queuing, it's waiting in a line. It means that, for example, if they are in a subway, if they're in a queuing in the taxi, they will not go there without any permission. It means that forming orderly lines and waiting one's turn is a deeply ingrained social rule. It's jumping the queuing, it's considered very rude behavior, you know. Next one, punctuality. What does it mean, punctuality? It means that British people prefer to be on time. Being on time, it's important for appointments, if they at the work meeting or at dinner invitation. It's polite to inform others if you are going to be late. For example, if you invite or you will be invited by British people to the cafe or to have dinner with a British one, you should always be on time. But if you have some circumstances that you are late, you will try to call and say, sorry, I'm late, and I will be 2 or 3 minutes, I will come after 10 or 3 minutes later, you know. But they very polite person. Next one, personal spaces. What does it mean, personal spaces? British people, they generally prefer a respectful arm length of personal space and are less physically demonstrative than some other cultural touchings of arm or shoulders is fine with friends to avoid excessive physical contact or prolonged eye contact with strangers. It means that when you meet British people, you'll never touch them on the shoulder because it's not your friend. If it's your friend, it's okay. Say hello and touch it. But they prefer their own personal spaces, you know. Next one, tea culture. If you remember, I told you about the tea, that British people, the tea time, it's called as a national pastime and social ritual. It means that every day at 5 in the evening, British people usually have a tea time. It means that they call it offering is a cuppa. Cuppa, it means a cup of tea. And it is standard gesture of hospitality. It shows that they are very hospitable people. But you know that if British people invite you a cup of tea, be ready that it will be only a cup of tea without any biscuit, because they invite you a cup of tea and usually they invite you to white tea. White tea, it means white tea. Do you know what is it?
Tea with milk.
Yeah, they add milk to tea. Then traditional meals, its iconic dishes include a full English breakfast. You know what's English breakfast, yeah? Often eaten on Friday, and Sunday roast. They have a tradition, or every Sunday they gather together with their families, it's usually in lunchtime, and they roast vegetables, and they prepare Yorkshire pudding. It's usually tradition on Sundays, but in our country, together with their families, usually at lunchtime, we prefer what kind of? Plov. Yes, we prepare our national dish. It's called like as plov, but they prepare Sunday roast, different types of meat. They gather together with their family. Usually, they are at lunchtime. Next one. Now I explain you interesting facts about the key values and social norms of British people. Now please write down that key values and social norms, and only the names of these key values and social norms. First one, politeness and etiquette. Second one is queuing, waiting in line. Only this one, okay? Politeness and etiquette, queuing, waiting in line. Ready? No? Yes. Next one, punctuality. Next, personal space. Tea culture and traditional meals. Tea culture and traditional meals. another question which I'm going to explain you and ask you. What is a culture shock? What is a culture shock?
When you know something new about this culture and it's not in your culture, like
Yeah. Usually, when do people come across with a culture shock? When? Yeah, during the traveling or when they immigrate to another country. For example, if you'll be in the UK, of course, you will come across with a culture shock. And I'm going to, we are going to show, to watch video about culture shock. 10 culture shock and 10 things which you call culture shock when people come to visit the UK. You are going to watch this video very attentively and make a note. At the end of the video, we'll try to discuss what is culture shock and with what things do people come across while they are in UK. It's usually the young generation come across with this culture shock. Ready?
Hey guys, I'm Eric.
I'm Grace. We're the Wandering Ravens.
And today we are going to tell you 10 things that were culture shock for us when we arrived here in England.
The first thing that shocked us when we arrived in England was just how many foreigners there are in London.
We'd always heard that London was multicultural, but just the extent of foreigners that were there was really shocking to us. And not in a bad way. It was just surprising because when we were coming to England, we're like, oh, there's probably going to be a lot of English people and we'll be hearing lots of English. But when we were in public, about 90% of the languages we were hearing around us were foreign languages and not English.
Pretty much everywhere was represented in London, so that was really cool. And to just hear all of the different languages. Because we feel like, I mean, Seattle's pretty multicultural as well, but not to the extent of London. Like, just all of the languages and everyone speaking different languages in like the restaurants, we'd be sitting at our table and each table was speaking a different language.
This happened every time.
Yeah, pretty much every time. We'd be like, the table of Koreans, we could always hear them because
Korea!
we understand a tiny bit of Korean, so we were like, oh.
We lived in Korea for 2 years,
Yeah,
so that's a good I don't know.
The Koreans, French people, Eastern European people, just everywhere. Number two!
Number 2, the subways are really small. And it's actually shocking because our experience with subways is in Korea and Japan, and these subways are very wide. There's lots of standing room. They're also very tall. But the tube, as it's called in London, actually looks kind of like a tube. Yeah, it makes sense.
It's like not tall, or at least the ones that we were on were not tall, like all the way across on the ceiling, but it's kind of like
a box
curved or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like curved. Maybe not all of them are that way, but the ones that we were on were that way. So
Yeah.
it was interesting.
It was just surprising and shocking how small the tube was, at least the tubes of the road.
Speaking of tubes, that brings us to number 3. I love how English people wait patiently for people who are on the tube to get off before getting on the tube themselves. That is something after living in Korea for a couple years, you'll know that is not the case. As soon as the subway doors open and the train stops, everyone in Korea is just like pushing everybody else, getting on the subway as fast as they can. So it was nice to go to a place where everyone just stands aside and waits for those people who are on the train to get off, which is what should happen.
This is actually so shocking that the very first time we rode the tube, when the doors opened and everyone was waiting for people to get off, Grace turned to me and made that observation. She said, oh my gosh, they're waiting for people to get off. What is this? Number 4, this is just a really quick one, but light switches here are different than they are in the States, and whereas in the States, in Korea, and other countries, you flip on and turn the light switch on.
Flip up, yeah.
Flip up, turn it on, and flip down, and turn it off. Here, from what we've seen, you flip up to turn it off, you flip down to turn it off.
Number 5, the other thing that we found surprising when we arrived in England was that power outlets have to be switched on to use them. So it has like a little switch next to it, you have to turn it on in order to use electronic appliances. So many times we've tried to boil like hot water, tea, or coffee,
Or charge my phone.
and you forget to switch the power outlet on, and it doesn't charge, or the water doesn't boil, and you're like, I kind of like that though, because as I heard someone say the other day, it prevents like children from sticking things into the sockets and getting electrocuted. So I like that idea.
And then also, like in America, when we go on vacation or something like that, you have to run around the house and unplug everything so that it's not firepower.
Or even like every night you try to like unplug.
Yeah. Here, you just turn the outlets off. So that's actually kind of cool. It was shocking, but it's kind of cool, and we'll probably try to do that on our own house one day.
Yeah, I like that.
Number 6, something else that has been a little shocking for us, is that tipping here is a bit different than back in the States. Whereas in the States, when you go to a restaurant, any receipt that you get is going to have a tip line where you write the tip. Here at restaurants, they don't have that. And most cafes don't even have a tip jar. And so it's been really confusing for us to figure out what we do for tipping.
I've heard also that tipping is super minimal here. Like, if at all, it's really minimal. So that's definitely different than America, where as a server, you're like 20% of your back tables.
Yeah. Question though, for the English folk in the audience, when I'm at a restaurant and they give me a receipt that doesn't have a tip line or anything on it, what am I supposed to do? Do I tip? Or is that just like a no tip? Yeah, do you leave it on the table? Or is that just like we all agree that there's no tipping going on in the situation? Please let me know down in the comments so I don't make any social faux pas.
Number 7. Real quick, I was just going to mention that in the grocery stores here in England, they generally have a much larger selection of cheese than they do back home in the States, which I'm not going to complain about. I love that. I think it's just a lot more in the culture here, I guess, than it is back home. Whereas back home, you usually only have like a couple different kinds of cheese to choose from, and not like
Gouda.
Yeah, not like mozzarella or
Mozzarella. Yeah.
not like specialty cheeses. Here you'll have like many different types, and there'll be different ages as well.
Number 8. This is one you hear a lot, probably, but we don't know which direction to look when we cross the road. And this is for a couple of reasons. 1, people here drive on the left side of the road, and so that's confusing. But 2, there are also a ton of one-way streets here, both in London and in the villages that we've been in and towns. Lots of one-way streets that aren't obvious one-way streets. And so when we cross, it is so confusing to know
Which way to look.
And so
It's quite dangerous, actually.
yeah.
You know, like, I'm in fear of being struck by an automobile. I found it ridiculous.
Yeah. We're working on our English accent.
That wasn't an English accent, that was me.
Sounded like an English person.
In London, though, there is a nice, I think it's so polite and courteous how they put on the ground, like, look this way.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Before crossing the street, there's like paint on the sidewalk that says, look left, or look right, or look both ways. And so I thought that was kind of cool. I was like, oh,
That was really good.
these English folk have our back.
They know we're stupid.
Number 9. This is more of a question, but it was also a very big culture shock. Why are there 2 separate spigots for hot and cold water? Just like, somebody please explain. I don't understand this. Like, do you want to wash your hands in freezing cold water, not kill any of the germs? Correct, but whatever, that's what I think. Or do you want to scald yourself so that you can't even feel, and then you have to be fed for the next few days? Like, choose.
It is very confusing, and this is not just something we've seen in homes, but we've seen it in museums, in churches, in cafes, in
It's like
restaurants.
everywhere in the restroom.
Yeah.
It's 2 separate.
2 separate spigots, and you get scalding hot water, or you get
Ice.
cold water.
And so, like, what I was doing, I know this is
You just stand up
ridiculous,
and go,
but yeah, I was just like
together.
throwing them together, like, somebody explains, because somebody's got an explanation for why this is better, I'm sure.
Explain it.
It's not.
Number 10, it was shocking to us how much people jaywalk here. We had been warned by friends that, hey, just so you know, in London, it's okay to jaywalk. But when we came here, it was just surprising to see how frequently everyone jaywalks. Literally, everyone jaywalks all the time. Yeah, it's constant jaywalking. And we're coming from Seattle, which is, I think, in the United States.
Okay, great. Here is in this video you watch 10 things when foreigners come across to the culture shock in the UK. On the first place is
High number of international.
yeah, different. There are a lot of nationalities are there in the UK. Yes, and it was the first shock when you are in a cafe and you listen different types of languages. Yeah. Second one. Subways. Yeah, the subways.
They compare what kind of subway? Two types of subways, the Korean one and British one. Okay, third one. Ну-ка еще раз.
People wait attentionally in the tube.
Да. Так, they are waiting for the metro very attentionally, yes. Fourth one. Да, it's about the city, yes. Okay, about the lights. Okay, next. Next. Что? Кто-нибудь?
On off вот это.
Turn off and turn on the switch. The lights. Okay, next. And what kind of, how do you think, if you'll be in the UK, will you come across this culture shock with metro, subway? Yeah? Okay, good. Now let's continue to our lecture. It's the second question according to our plan. British customs and facts. To understand British customs, the difference between the geographical part of England, Britain and the United Kingdom are important. It means that all parts of Britain have their own customs and traditions. For example, England is a section of Ireland and it's a part of Great Britain, along with Scotland and Wales. And of course, it's also sections of the islands. Britain is a very diverse country, including many different races and people from different parts of the world. It means that a lot of immigrants come to visit, come to the UK, and of course they celebrate their own customs and traditions. And of course they appreciate to celebrate the customs and traditions of the UK. And the majority of people who live on the territory of Britain, they are white, they speak English, and the predominant religious is Christianity. Even people who are not religious, they follow the customs and traditions of in this country where they live. And British culture includes English traditional foods. English traditional foods, it's fish and chips. It's one of the popular meals that is usually eaten on Friday. It means that on Friday, British people usually prefer to eat fish and chips. And if you will be in Britain, of course, you have the friends from their country. They can invite you and say, let's go to eat fish and chips. And you please know this fact that usually it's English tradition that they eat fish and chips on Fridays. The practice comes from Christianity. It's go back to the religious, and it comes from the Celtic tradition. One of the most famous English tradition is the roast dinner. I told you at the beginning of our lecture that on Sundays, British people, they prefer to roast meat or vegetables. They gather together with their friends, with their members. The Sunday roast is eaten around usually lunchtime and consists of some type of roast meat with roasted potatoes, vegetables and gravy. Next, of course, sports are important in Britain, and particularly football is a big part of British culture. And the next one is cricket, is also one of the famous sport and traditional British game. And it is team are supported by many people all over the country. And during the sports games, it's not unusual for fans to wave English or British flags to show their support. And pay attention that to wave English or British flags. What's the name of the British flag? Union Jack. Union Jack. And how many countries are there in the Union Jack represent? Three. What kind of?
England,
Scotland,
and Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland, yes. And of course we know that all countries have their own flag, yeah. And because of that, during the sports game, it's not unusual for fans to wave English or British flags. It means if they wave English and British one, it meant that they are members from England. If it will be Scottish flag and British. It means that they are representatives from Scotland. Just as the countries of England, Scotland, Wales make up of the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland, and of course you know that the Union Jack is recognizable as the official flag of the UK. And third question about the cultural life. Today, on this question, we are going to talk about different customs and traditions which are usually held per year on the territory of the UK. And the first the first fact which I would like to tell you, that annual festivals of music and drama every year are held in the UK, and they are one of the popular in Britain. Some of them are famous not only in Britain but in all over the world. And the first famous international festival, and maybe it's a holiday, it's a Burns Night. The Burns Night holiday, it's usually celebrated on the 25th of January, and it's the birthday of Scotland's greatest poet, Robert Burns. And there are hundreds of Burns clubs, not only in Britain but also through the world. But we do not celebrate this holiday in our country, and because of that, maybe you heard this, you hear it about this information for the first time. But this holiday is very popular not only in the UK but all over the world, which is celebrated on the 25th of January in honor of Robert Burns. Robert Burns, he was a Scottish writer, famous Scottish writer, and people gathered together in the clubs, and they hold the Burns Night celebration. 1,000 people drink a toast to immortal memory of Robert Burns. It means that they sing a song or tell the poems which was written by Robert Burns. Then the people wear the national Scottish costumes, and to the sound of the bagpipes. Bagpipe is an international Scottish musician instrument. They appear on the tables, the traditional dishes of festival dinner, each chicken broth, boiled soul herring, and haggis. It's like as our hasip. То есть он как наш хасып, да. Рис, лэнг, то есть легкие, печень, все это вместе, but only в этом требухе, да, вот мы, I don't know what по-детски, ну в общем. It's eaten with boiled turnip and potatoes. The dinner is followed by dancing, pipe music, and reciting selection from the Britain's lyrics. It means that they tell the famous Robert Burns poems, and they celebration concludes with singing the poet's famous Old Lang Syne. Now you are going to watch a short video about Burns Night celebration.
The best laid schemes o' mice and men gang aft idly. Or in other words, no matter how much you plan, things can still go wrong. Let's go for explanation Burns Night goes with Get your haggis, tartan and bagpipes ready. It's Burns Night! So what's it all about? And how do Scots all over the world celebrate it? Burns Night marks the birthday of Scotland's most famous poet, Robert Burns, affectionately known as Rabbie. He was born on the 25th of January 1759 in a village in Ayrshire in Scotland. Burns was a genius with words and wrote loads of poems and songs, some of which you might recognise. Perhaps you sang this on New Year's Eve. Maybe not quite like that though. Well, you have the remarkable Rabbie to thank for it. Every January the 25th, Scots celebrate the writer's life and works. Often at a Burns supper where bagpipes are played and traditional treats like haggis, neeps and tatties are eaten. Burns poetry is usually recited too. Some may meat and cannot eat, and some would eat that want it. But we hae meat and we can eat, say let the Lord eat it. That's a line from his poem Selkirk Grace, a piece about being thankful for what we have and remembering those that have not. The annual tradition began in July 1801 when 9 of Rabbie's closest friends got together to mark the 5th anniversary of his death, and the following year they did the same thing to celebrate his birthday too. The tradition stuck, and here we all are, still celebrating the wonderful wordsmith hundreds of years later. Happy birthday, Robbie Burns, and a happy Burns night to all of you.
Please, let's write some facts about Burns Night holiday. Only the date. Burns Night is celebrated on the 25th of January. Burns Night. Okay, Burns Night, January 25th, is the birthday of Scotland's greatest poet, Robert Burns. Burns Night, January 25th, is the birthday of Scotland's greatest poet, Robert Burns. There are hundreds of Burns clubs, not only in Britain. There are hundreds of Burns clubs, not only in Britain, but also throughout the world, And on the 25th of January, they all hold Burns Night celebrations. Thousands of people drink a toast to immortal memory of Robert Burns. Okay? Is it clear about Burns Night? Yeah. Okay. Next holiday, festival, which is usually celebrated in the UK, is Shakespeare's birthday. Every year, the anniversary of birth of William Shakespeare is celebrated in Stratford-upon-Avon. Stratford-upon-Avon, it's a place in England where famous English writer was born. What kind of tragedies do you know which was written by William Shakespeare, famous one? Romeo and Juliet, Othello, Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. Okay, and William Shakespeare, he was born on April 23 in 1564. And flags hung on the main street, and people wear string of rosemary for remembrance in their buttonholes. Means that people, it's like as a festival. People come to his home and they bring flowers and they put these flowers into the honor of William Shakespeare. And it is a long procession goes along the streets to the church, where everyone in the procession puts a bouquet of flowers, just one flower at the poet's grave. And in the evening, of course, they can go to the famous Shakespearean theatre, in the theatre which is called the Royal Shakespearean Theatre in London. And in this day, usually you can see that the place, you can choose any place you see, which was written by William Shakespeare, you know? Remember this and why, please, that Shakespearean's birthday, Shakespeare's birthday, every year the anniversary of the birth of William Shakespeare is celebrated in Stratford-upon-Avon. Where he was born on the 23rd of April, 1564. Where he was born on April 23rd, 1564. Great. Yeah. Okay. And remember that, especially on this day, people go to the Royal Shakespearean Theatre, where they can see the plays, or tragedies, or comedies, which was written by William Shakespeare. То есть люди каждый раз в этот день театры именно показывают plays, которые были написаны Вильямом Шекспиром именно в этот день. Понятно? Ну, приходят и именно в этот день смотрят. Clear? Так, now let's short video about Shakespeare's birthday.
What date do we recognize as William Shakespeare's birthday? If you're curious about the birthday of one of the most celebrated writers in history, you're in the right place. Let's uncover the details surrounding William Shakespeare's birth date. First, it's important to note that we don't actually know the exact date of Shakespeare's birth. However, we do have a clue from his baptism record. He was baptized on the 26th of April, 1564, in Stratford-upon-Avon, England. In those times, it was common for children to be baptized just a few days after they were born. So, to make an educated guess, historians and biographers often backdate his birth to 3 days before his baptism. This brings us to 23rd April 1564. This date has become the traditionally accepted birthday for Shakespeare, partly because it aligns with the date of his death, which is known to be 23rd of April 1616. This symmetry is quite intriguing and has been noted by many scholars. Shakespeare's life is well documented in terms of his career and works, but his personal life remains somewhat of a mystery. Despite this, the date of 23rd of April has stuck as the day to celebrate his birth, making it a significant day for literature lovers around the world. So, if you ever find yourself wondering when to celebrate the birthday of the Bard of Avon, now you know. It's on 23rd of April, a date that marks both his birth and his passing. This unique coincidence adds a touch of poetry to the life of a man whose works continue to inspire and captivate audiences to this day.
Okay, clear? Next. Next festival is Edinburgh International Festival. The Edinburgh International Festival, this festival is usually held annually during 3 weeks in late August and early September. The festival is quite international in its character. What does it mean, quite international? It means that a lot of people from all parts of the world try to participate in this holiday, in this festival, and as it gives a varied representation of artistic production from many countries. Leading musicians of the world and world-famous theaters companies always take part in it. Next, the first Edinburgh International Festival was held in 1947, and since that time, the Edinburgh International Festival has firmly established its reputation as one of the famous and important events which usually held on the territory of Britain, and especially in Edinburgh. You know that International Festival of Edinburgh, it's like as our Şarkı Taranaları, but Şarkı Taranaları is musical one, yes, it's usually held one time in 2 years, yeah? But this festival is usually held only every year in Britain, and people from all parts of the world, they are musicians and maybe they're actors, try and would like to participate to this kind of festival. It's very interesting one. Next, now let's speak about holidays. And you know that in the matter of holidays, British are as well than other Europeans, and most people have only 3 weeks paid holiday per year, and the bank holidays put Britain at the bottom of the list of common market countries. And there are lots of holidays which are celebrated by the British people. They are the New Year's, the Good Friday, Christmas, Easter Monday, May Day, Boxing Day, and as at the beginning of our lecture I told you that UK consists of 4 countries, England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, and all of them, England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland, have their own customs and traditions. And here is mentioned that this part of it, for example, the patron saint days are not celebrated with the holidays. For example, this holiday of Saint David Day, Saint David Day at the День Святого Давида, it's usually this holiday not celebrated in all parts of the UK. It's only celebrated in Wales, because we know that Saint David, he is a saint of Wales, and usually they celebrate it on March 1st. Then Saint George days is Saint George, he is a saint of England, and because of that, English people, they celebrate this day on the 23rd of April. And St. Andrew Day is the saint of Scotland. This holiday they celebrated on November 30 in Scotland. But one interesting fact about the British monarch's birthday. Who knows how many birthdays that the British monarch celebrate every year? 2. I told you, yes. I explained and told you the group number 27, yes? And if I'm not mistaken, I told you that you should be ready for this fact, no? No, yeah? And you know that the British monarch celebrate their holidays twice in a year. It doesn't matter king or queen, but monarch. And they celebrate their own birthdays and the official birthday. Usually British people celebrate official birthday of every 2nd Saturday of June. It doesn't matter what kind of date is it, but only 2nd Saturday of June British people celebrate the official birthday of British monarch. It's like as a parade, and people come to the Trafalgar Square and meet and greeting with monarch. You see? Remember this fact. Next one. One of the famous holiday is Christmas. And the first sentence, you can see that if you try to catch the train on the 21st of December, you have difficulty in finding a seat. Absolutely right, that it's very difficult to find ticket to the train or to the plane, because the main traditions of Christmas that members of the family should gather together. And they try to spend this holiday together with their family members. It doesn't matter in what part of the world are you. Maybe you work in Uzbekistan, but they try to be with their families in UK. And because of that, it's very difficult to find tickets on the 24th of December. And you know that this is a day when many people are traveling home to be with their families. And of course, on the Christmas day, you know that the Christmas is the 24th, from the 25th to the 24th or 25th of December, they celebrate this holiday. And for most British families, this is most important holiday of winter. One of the important, and you know that for this, they began preparation for Christmas from November, and they cook traditional. Most families decorate their houses. They decorated their gardens, yards, and they prepare expensive presents to their children, to their parents, to their relatives. And of course, remember, it's one of the famous holiday in Britain, and the more important tradition of this holiday that family members gather together. You see? Understand? Write down that Christmas. If you try to catch a train on the 24th of December, you may have difficulty in finding a seat. This is a day when people are traveling home to be with their families on Christmas Day, 25th of December. It will be. Remember that Christmas on the 25th of December. This is a day when many people are traveling home to be with their families on Christmas Day, 25th December. Okay, ready?
Предыдущий слайд.
Sorry? Что?
Предыдущий слайд.
Предыдущий слайд?
Да.
А что там? Какой?
Все.
Okay, next. Halfpenny and third footing. At midnight on the 31st of December, throughout the Britain, people celebrate the coming of New Year. The coming of New Year by holding a circle and singing the song Auld Lang Syne. You know that this holiday is for Auld Lang Syne means in the memory of past times, and the words were written by Scotland's most famous poet. It's the Scottish holiday, and of course he wrote his poetry, Robert Burns, on the Scottish dialect. Then, next holiday, it's Easter. You know that Easter, although the Christmas religion gave the world Easter as we know it today. The celebration owes its name and many of its customs and symbols to a pagan festival called Ulster. This holiday came to the territory of British Isles from Anglo-Saxon conquer. I told you at the beginning of our lecture that British Isles were conquered by several times different invaders, yeah? And Anglo-Saxon Easter came to the territory of Britain with Anglo-Saxon conquerors, yeah? Who remembered who were Anglo-Saxons? What kind of people were they? And what's happened with the British Isles? Tall, strong people. All invaders were tall and strong people, yeah. But what's happened with the British Isles? Англосаксоны, что произошло? Absolutely. Это вы, да, Кубик? Сказали, надо же, yes, absolutely right. Anglo-Saxons, they were very cruel people, and they divided the British Isles into 7 kingdoms, yeah. And they were barbaric and awful tribes. They killed native population, and they crossed the territory of present-day Germany, yeah. Okay. Every spring, it's Northern European people celebrate the festival of Easter to honor the awakening of new life. There is awakening of new life. And it's like our Пасха. Easter это есть Пасха. Только у крестьян оно в одно время, у католиков другое. No, in winter. And they celebrate this holiday in order that's awakening of new life in nature. And what do they usually prepare for this holiday? They colored decorated eggs. The Easter bunny also originated in pre-Christianity and fertile lore. The rabbit was the most fertile animal. And today, of course, children enjoy eating candy bunnies and listening to stories about the rooster bunny who supposedly brings Easter eggs in a fancy basket. It means that they colored eggs, they bake puddings, and they, of course, bunny is a symbol of Easter because here is people believe that Easter bunny also originated in pre-Christianity fertility 1. It means that it's like as a symbol of a new life, bunny. Bunny, знаете, да, что такое? Зайчик, кролик. May Day celebration, then we'll come across with Boxing Day, and Boxing Day, it's usually after the New Year Eve, when a lot of things in the shop became very cheap. And after that, people try to buy expensive goods for good salary. And for this one. Then the May Day celebration, the beautiful springtime festival of May Day celebration is observed in every nation, each according to its own customs and tradition. In most countries, May Day celebration usually celebrates on the 1st of May. It's like as a new life begins for both nature and man. And of course, this holiday is very important in northern part of Europe than in warmer countries. For example, we do not about this holiday anything. We only know about the 9th of May we celebrate in our country, yeah? Okay. Then at summer, the next one is St. Valentine's Day. You know that this holiday is celebrated on the 14th of February. But it's not only the holiday of young couple, no, it's a holiday of all people who love each other, with children, parents, and etc. Then the 5th of November is Guy Fawkes Day. Of course, the Guy Fawkes Day is a special day in England, which is called Guy Fawkes Day. It's usually celebrated on the 5th of November. And every day, every year, English boys, they and girls carry many figures about the streets, and the figures are made of straw and dressed on an old coat and a hat with a mask for a face. They make like such kind of people, figures, and looks like as a man. Then children expect people to give them some money, which is spent on fireworks. And of course, in the evening, fire is made, and on November 5th, this holiday came November 5th, 1605. It was one of the famous hero Guy Fawkes, and other people planned to blow up
the English Parliament, and in order of this hero, this holiday was planned, and the plot was discovered, a Guy Fawkes was hanged. And of course, it's like, то есть they burn this figure, они потом сжигают этого Guy Fawkes. Next holiday is Halloween. We know that the 31st of October every year, British in Europe and especially in the UK, they celebrated Halloween. It's one of the famous holidays not only in the UK but all over the world, especially in European countries. And people wear dangerous costumes, and they try to ferret people, yes, and of course they small children, they usually go to their neighbors and take trick or treat, and after that people give them sweets, and at the end of this holiday all families have a lot of there are a lot of baskets with a lot of sweets, candles, you know. То есть детки, когда приходят к соседям, они говорят, что? Дайте гадость?
Сладость или гадость?
Нет, они не говорят give the sweets, они говорят, что? Yeah. И it's tradition. И они собирают candles or sweets и так далее. You see? Understand? Now let's watch a video again about customs and traditions. At the end of this video, we'll popular UK traditions and holidays. Make a notes, please, and then we'll discuss. I'm going to ask you what information will you take from this video, okay? About popular customs and traditions.
Hello and welcome. In today's video we will learn about
12 holidays and traditions in United Kingdom. The United Kingdom, which is made up of England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, is one of Europe's most culturally interesting countries. In addition to certain shared rituals and traditions observed throughout the United Kingdom, each of the 4 nations has its own set of traditions. In today's video, we'll try to bring you closer to and describe some of the most important events that Britons are very happy to celebrate, and how much they care about the party and celebration of public holidays. Public holidays are still often called bank holidays. If a public holiday falls on a Saturday or Sunday, a substitute working day of the week becomes non-working so that people can rest and spend time with loved ones.
How do you understand bank holiday? How do you understand this holiday? Как не понял? То есть, когда какой-либо праздник попадает на субботу-воскресенье, они еще дополнительный день отдыхают. Например, если, for example, you know that near 5 or 6 years our country follow these traditions. То есть, если первое 31st is, допустим, of December is Saturday or Sunday, значит, you will have rest on Monday. Понимаете? То есть, Monday тоже отдыхаете.
У нас тоже так бывает.
У нас тоже так стало. Yes, я сказала, I told about it. And these holidays are called bank holidays.
Before we continue, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you can be updated by my new videos. Number 1, Burns Night. Burns Night is a celebration of Scottish poet Robbie Burns' life and achievements. Burns' birthday is commemorated by Scots all around the country with poetry readings, Scotch consumption and the consumption of haggis, a traditional Scottish sheep dish that Burns extolled in his poetry. Number 2, Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year is observed by a sizable Asian population in the United Kingdom. Every year, the event takes place in London's Chinatown quarter with a procession of Chinese food, music, dancing and stunts. Outside of Asia, that festival is the largest Chinese New Year celebration. Number 3, Pancake Day. On the last day before Lent begins, Pancake Day is observed. Because it is a Christian tradition to fast during Lent, the majority of foods would spoil during this time. So the British decided to make pancakes with the eggs, milk and sugar they had on hand. Even though many people no longer fast, the tradition of making pancakes on this day has remained. Number 4.
Pancake Day, what kind of holiday is it?
Масленица. Масленица.
Ну, типа масленица, да. People prepare what?
pancakes, yeah, and they made a lot of competition there, running competition with the pancake, yeah.
Easter. Easter is the most important Christian holiday, and it is widely observed in the United Kingdom. Children in England look for chocolate eggs that the elderly have previously buried in the home area on Easter Sunday, believing that the Easter bunny has come and hidden the eggs about the house. Simnel cake, a fruit cake with layers of marzipan and almonds, is traditionally served at Easter. Number 5. St. David's Day. The population of Wales honours St. David, its patron saint, on March 1st. It is customary to wear a nut.
As I told you, that England, Scotland, Wales, they celebrated their own holidays in honor of their saints. And here is the example of this holiday.
Narcissus or leash on a shirt to commemorate the battle against the Saxons, in which the Welsh wore leeks to differentiate themselves from the enemy at David's advice. Some Welsh, particularly children, dress in traditional Welsh garb. Number 6. Queen's birthday. The birthday of Queen Elizabeth II, it's technically April 21st, but the state has been celebrating her king, birthday queens on the second Saturday in June since 1748. This is because June is a suitable month for the royal family to spend their birthday with civilians when the weather is still pleasant. Trooping the colour is a magnificent ritual that takes place in London with a primary celebration at Buckingham Palace, which is attended by the entire royal family. Number 7. Halloween. Halloween is a popular holiday in the United Kingdom. Children will dress up in costumes and walk about the neighbourhood knocking on doors searching for candy or a joke, known as trick or treating, while adults celebrate Halloween parties where they dress up as witches and ghosts. Number 8. Bonfire Night. Bonfire Night, also known as Guy Fawkes Night, the 5th of December, which marks the Gunpowder Plot of 1605, a failed conspiracy by a group of provincial English Catholics to assassinate the Protestant king by blowing up the Houses of Parliament. Guy Fawkes and others were arrested. Both Catholics and Protestants have happily celebrated Bonfire Night, one side celebrating the attempt at blowing up the Houses of Parliament and the other side celebrating the failure of that attempt. Nowadays, many councils set up large bonfires with impressive firework displays, although many people also have smaller family celebrations. There are many versions of this rhyme that have survived in different parts of England since the 17th century. Most begin with the same or very similar words. This is the basic form. Remember, remember, the 5th of November. Gunpowder treason and plot. I see no reason why gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Number 9. Remembrance Day. The British commemorate the military casualties of World War I and World War II on Remembrance Day. 11:11 a.m., 2 minutes of quiet are observed because a truce was declared in the United Kingdom at that moment in 1918. Since poppies bloomed across the front lines during the war, this flower has become a symbol of Remembrance Day, and you will be able to see its pattern everywhere you turn. Number 10. Christmas Day. The 25th of December is celebrated as Christmas Day. Long before the conversion to Christianity, this day was celebrated in Britain as a celebration. Despite the fact that religion has been losing momentum in the United Kingdom, Christmas remains the most regularly observed holiday. It is the most vibrant and joyous holiday. Everything is rushed on Christmas Eve. Although offices close around 1 o'clock, businesses remain open until late. The majority of cities are decked out with twinkling lights and colossal Christmas trees. People decorate Christmas trees in their homes. They also decorate shelves, tables, and mantelpieces with Christmas cards. The homemaker is busy creating Christmas pastries and cooking a turkey. Stockings are slung over the end of the bed. Children believe that Santa Claus will descend the chimney and stuff their stockings with gifts. On the mantelpiece, a carrot for the reindeer is customarily left. Many individuals attend church on Christmas Day. When the family returns from church, they gather around the tree and open the packages. Everyone receives a gift. The Christmas dinner is very traditional, consisting of stuffed turkey, boiled ham, mashed potatoes, plum pudding, mince pies, tea or coffee, and cakes. People fly from all across the country to be with their families for the holidays. On Christmas Day, Christmas pudding is also made. Christmas pudding is a combination of fruit and rum cake, and it's not quite the gelatin dish Americans are used to. The upside-down bowl-shaped dessert is produced with 13 components, mostly dried fruits, molasses, and egg, and topped with a sprig of holly, which is thought to symbolize Jesus and his disciples. The pudding is often aged for a month, then steamed or cooked before being drenched in brandy or rum and set on fire. Number 11, Boxing Day. This day, similar to our Black Friday, was originally intended to be the day when servants in more affluent houses would get a Christmas package from the family's head. They would then return home and give unique Christmas boxes to their relatives. Today, however, it's a day for shopping and eating excellent leftovers. Just be aware that on Boxing Day, transportation and other services are severely constrained. Many London rail lines are either halted or only run on a part-time basis. Banks and post offices are also closed due to this celebration being a bank holiday. Number 12, New Year Eve. In England, New Year's Day is not as well known as Christmas. Some people simply ignore it, while others celebrate it in some way. A New Year's Eve party is the most prevalent sort of celebration, either a family party or one arranged by a group of young people. This normally starts about 8 p.m. and lasts until the wee hours of the morning. A buffet meal of cold meat, pies, sandwiches, cakes, and a large bowl of punch is frequently served. On New Year's Eve, most hotels and dance halls host a special dance. The most famous celebration takes place in Piccadilly Circus around the Eros statue. People sing, dance, and ring in the new year with song and dancing. Usually, someone falls into the fountain. The 1st of January is a national holiday. People do not go to work. They send greeting cards and gifts. I hope you find this video helpful.
Okay, is it interesting one? Okay, the first and popular UK traditions and customs which usually celebrate every year. The first one? Birds Night. Second? Chinese New Year. Third one? Pancake Day. Fourth? Easter. Fifth?
Saint David's
Saint David's Day. Sixth?
Queen's birthday.
Queen's birthday, yes. Seventh? Halloween. Eighth? Bonfire. Okay. Ninth? Remembrance Days. 10th? Christmas Days. 11th? Boxing. And the last one?
New Year.
Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Now today is the end of our lecture, and at the end of our lecture I'm going to ask you the question. What is a Birds Night holiday? Okay.
Birds Night is a Scottish celebration. It is celebrated in 25th of January every year, in the birthday of Robert Burns. And he was born in 25th of January in 1759 in Elway, Scotland. Yes, and Burns Night is not just a dinner. It is a celebration of Scottish culture, poetry, and pride.
Okay, great. Sit down, please. Thank you. What about the Shakespearean birthday? Okay.
William Shakespeare was born on April 23, 1546, in Stratford-upon-Avon, England. He was one of the greatest playwrights and poets in history, and known for works like Hamlet and Romeo and Juliet. He every year on her birthday played in the Royal Shakespeare Theatre her plays he writes 37 plays and 150 sonnets.
Great. Okay. About Edinburgh International Festival.
The Edinburgh International Festival is a new art festival held in August in Edinburgh, Scotland. It began in 1947, and the festival represents international music, theatre, opera, and dance performances. It uses major cultural venues throughout the city. Its purpose is to promote artistic excellence and global cultural exchange.
Okay, great. Christmas.
Christmas is one of the most important and famous holiday in UK. It celebrates on December 25th, and every year December 24th everybody moves to their home and celebrate this festival with family, and it's mostly Christian festival in a year.
Okay, and what about Easter? Okay.
The resurrection of Jesus Christ in the dead. It symbolizes the triumph of life hour and the promise eternal life. It celebrates in spring. Its tradition includes color eggs, Easter eggs, and special sweet bread, kulich.
Okay, thank you. The lecture is over. Goodbye. See you next week.